Hello, my name is Lorraine and I'm a coach and I lead Growing with Grace programs, usually from my garden. And the programs open gateways of transformation for women who are ready to step into their lives, into themselves, out of the same old, and into a new reality. I know this is a deeply personal journey, and I am forever thankful for the opportunities that I'm offered to walk alongside the beautiful women who are called to this work. It is awe-inspiring to be in the presence of someone stepping up for their life, sharing gifts authentically. And this, for me, is what changes, what transforms the world. And this leads me beautifully to the lady I'm speaking with today, Lucy. She is an amazingly powerful woman, is earning her wings every second of each day. And I am so honored to have shared some of her journey with her. Her story is one I find incredibly inspiring, and I wanted you to hear it too. So welcome, Lucy. I am so happy that you're here, and I'm delighted that you are willing to share with us. So thank you. Please introduce yourself. Where are you? Who are you? Where do you come from? What do you do? Tell us about you.
Hello. Yes, I'm Lucy and I'm all the things. I didn't used to be, but I am now. Who am I? I'm Lucy. I'm 47 and I'm living in Wiltshire. I'm a writer. I'm a shepherd. To pay the bills, I work with IT and computers, which is all very dull and not really very me, but I'm way bigger than that. I'm a grandmother, which is a huge part of my life. I'm a widow. My husband died 4 years ago. And yeah, I'm that's who I am. And I'm okay with that.
It's brilliant. It's so wonderful to have watched you step from being too shy to really introduce yourself to anybody, even in person, and now here you are on camera, just radiating your amazing self. So what attracted you to working with Growing with Grace? What attracted you to our work?
Um, it was absolutely you. It wasn't any branding, it wasn't Growing with Grace, it wasn't any concepts, it wasn't any of that. It was literally you. Reason being, we met 9 years ago through mutual friends, about 9 years ago now. And one of the first things that I noticed about you was that whenever you were with somebody, you just gave them your complete focus. And you clearly made everybody feel like they were the only person in the room. And at first, I was quite intimidated by that because I didn't want anybody focusing on me or looking at me or talking to me, because I was just this tiny little wallflower thing that hid in the corner, and I hid behind my lovely big exuberant husband. And I didn't want that attention because I just felt too small and too worthless, I guess. Like I had nothing to offer, I had nothing to say, and I didn't want any light shone upon me because I thought it was just going to show a big black hole of ugh. And then over time, I got to know you a little bit, and that was fabulous. But then for me, the big major crunch point in my entire life was when my beautiful, beautiful husband, who I absolutely adore, he just dropped down dead of a brain hemorrhage right in front of me. When I just turned 43 and he was 47. And my world just ended. I wanted to die. I couldn't envisage life without him. We really were one soul split into two bodies. We were stitched together down the middle, and between us, we made one great whole person. But the half that was left once he physically died was just me. And I thought, well, there's just no point me carrying on with any of this nonsense. I very, very, very rapidly realized that I felt that I had to carry on because of my daughter and my grandson. And I had to find a way through it. That was to be entirely truthful, that was my motivation for breathing at the time. Nothing to do with me. It was purely my daughter, who was only 19 at the time, and my 18-month-old grandson. And I say, I had to find a way of getting through it. And it was around then that I was aware that you were doing the work that you do, and you were doing coaching, and I thought, well, maybe Lorraine can help me a little bit, because she seems a bit awesome and a bit wise and a bit like, to be honest, you just came across to me as somebody that truly had their shit together, and my shit was scattered to the four winds. And I thought, well, I need to cling on to something can perhaps pull me back together. And that's when I started working with you. And you've quite literally saved my life. You really have. You haven't put me back together, but you have given me the tools and the abilities to be able to pull myself back together, and to recognize that I'm not half a person that I thought I was. I genuinely am a person in my own right, and I can take up space, and I can be here, and I can do something with my life beyond the tiny, tiny little hopes and dreams and aspirations that I had initially, which was wake up, get dressed, you know, put breakfast on the table, try and survive the day, go to bed. And that's well, in 99.9% down to the work that I've done with you. So thank you.
Wow, it's an amazing journey. So what do you think in the work that I have done with you, what is it, what have you taken and used to turn your life around? What is it, you know, I mean, I understand we've done quite a lot of work together, but what would be key things that you could say are the things that have helped you turn that around?
You've taught me how to genuinely, and I don't mean this in a fluffy way, how to genuinely recognize my own worth, and how to become my own center of reference, and how to anchor myself to me and my place in the world, and my place in my family, in my community, and I just feel truly rooted and planted through my feet, and I can hold my head up. And that's something that you've taught me. I didn't know how to do that before. I always felt like I was there to serve other people. I was just sort of floating about like a dandelion seed. You know, it was like the wind blew me that way, and oh, I did that, and that made people happy, and that was great. And then the wind changed, and oh, I went over there and I did that, and that was great as well. You know, but now I'm much more able to be my own person, and to accept the fact that, you know, I came into life, you know, butt naked on my own. I will go out of life butt naked on my own. And the only person throughout all of it that I've got that I can truly refer to, rely on, I don't mean rely on as in I can't rely on other people, because I absolutely can, because I've attracted beautiful, wonderful people into my life. But I'm my own main character. You know, it's about me. This is how I am in the world. And you've just given me that sense that you haven't given me the sense, you have given me the tools to be able to recognize that I can show up and I am perfectly okay as I am. Yes, I'm probably 12 stone overweight. Yes, I have got way more debts than I should have. Yes, I've got a job that I don't really love. You know, yes, I've got a million faults. Of course I have. All of them are perfectly okay. That's part of me. And if people don't like it, that's okay. I don't mean that in a kind of like, oh, you know, off you go then. I don't mean it in an arsey way. It's just like, okay, I'm not for you. No problem. Go and find people that are for you. That's beautiful. Have a happy life. You know, and I never thought I'd be in a place where I would be doing that. So you've given me the tools to be able to genuinely recognize my own self-worth, and to realize that all I really need is me. I can want other things and want other people, and that can be brilliant, but I don't need anyone or anything, because everything I truly need, I've already got.
It's beautiful. The you know, the most powerful thing that we can do is be self-referenced. When we are referencing ourselves to outside, whatever is happening externally. You're right, Noel. I love that image of the dandelion seed. You know, we are literally blown wherever the wind takes us. Whereas when we can be self-referenced, and that's a powerful challenge, because it's not how many of us have been raised, and it's not how many of us have learned to navigate the world. So thank you for that. So
I mean, yeah, sorry, if I can just say,
go.
case in point, when Grizzly died, my husband, when he died, I like I say, I just fell apart. I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't cope with it because it was too much. And but then in contrast, since doing the work with you, on the 17th of March this year, my mum, I'm an only child, and me and my mum, you wouldn't find a mother and daughter that were closer. We absolutely, we were just peas in a pod. And my beautiful mum died really quite suddenly. She just had this really short illness of a week, and she died on the 17th of March. And if you'd said to me beforehand, how will you cope when your mum dies, I would have just thought, oh my God, that's going to be as bad, if not worse, than when Grizzly died, because I just cannot imagine coping without my mum. You know, my mum. She died on the 17th of March, and it was a beautiful death. I was with her throughout her week illness. You know, didn't leave her side. I was with her when she died. I handled all of her funeral arrangements. It was a beautiful funeral. I read a eulogy for her at her funeral, and I'm genuinely okay with it. And I just don't know how I don't know how I would have coped had I not already done all of this work and realized that I am way bigger and way stronger, and I am tapped into something that is just infinite, and it gives me whatever I need whenever I need it. And the experience of losing my mum, having done the work with you, in contrast to having lost my husband, having not done the work with you, the whole grieving process is just a completely different thing. And I'm so much more settled and at peace with it, and I know I can live alongside it. And it's just been that really has highlighted to me the massive change that's happened in me and my ability to cope with the shit that life throws at you. Doesn't make it less shit, just means I can cope with the shit way better.
Well, you get to grow through it and find the magic and the gold the other side of it, rather than getting stuck in the grief and the upset and the disappointment. And we're talking about grief, but I mean, you know, this happens with anything, any disappointment, any frustration, anything that doesn't work out the way that you want it to. So I'm sorry for your loss, and I am proud of you for the way you have navigated, well, the way you are navigating your world. So what would you say to anyone who's listening to this and wondering about, well, should I do some work with Lorraine? Should I join the next program? Should I check out Growing with Grace? What would you say to them?
No brainer, do it. Absolutely do it. There is no downside. There is nothing, you have nothing whatsoever to lose, and you've just got the ability to gain a whole new life that puts you right in the center of it. And that's not in a egotistical, you know, oh, it's all about me, you know. It's not like that. It just means that you can carry on being exactly as you are, you know, but you will be able to do it with a shifted perspective that makes pretty much everything in your life okay. I can't imagine why anybody given the opportunity, why they wouldn't do it. Because it does, it changes your life, it can save your life. You know, there are so many things in my life that have changed. I mean, when I introduced myself, I think the first, I can't remember what I said now, but I'm sure I said something about, you know, I was grandmother, I'm sure I said I was a writer. Yeah. There is no way I would have said that before this. You know, I've wanted to be a writer my entire life. I for some reason, I was just like, oh, I can't do that. That's too silly. That's too indulgent. I can't, oh, no, I'm not worth that. Now I'm absolutely a writer. You know, I write, I'm a writer. You know, I can show up, take ownership of the things that I am. And anybody can do that. If they learn the things that I've learned through doing the work with you, it just opens so many doors, and it just changes your whole perspective on who you are. And once you've changed your perspective on who you really are, it changes your perspective on who everybody else is and what the entire world is. And it's just awesome. It's amazing. Honestly, anybody, and look, I'm looking at you. Anybody, do it.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have you in my corner, but I'm absolutely delighted and honored that you're in my life. Thank you so much, Lucy.
No problem.
So if you want to check out details of my programs, then you can look for me on Facebook. I'm Lorraine Stanton Growing with Grace, or check out our website, growingwithgrace.uk. Thank you.